Hey there, and welcome back to Adobe Circle of Influence. I'm your host, Joe Escobedo, and today we'll be talking about persuading with power. All right, Joe, calm down a bit. So this is really important because whether you're trying to tell a story or you're trying to give a presentation, you're more likely going to want to try to persuade your audience to do something. And this is nothing new to us. We grew up, trying to persuade people or being persuaded by others. So I'll give you an example from my current situation. I have a 3-year-old son who is very picky. He hates eating vegetables. So I could tell him, hey, eat all your vegetables right now, okay? Or I could say, because he loves superheroes, I could say, hey, Superman, he's big, strong, right? Yeah, he's got big muscles and he flies around and he can, break through walls, right? And he'll go, yeah. I said, you want to be like Superman? Big, strong, fly, and, break through walls? He goes, yeah. And I said, okay, you know what Superman does? Superman eats all his vegetables. And I can see the gears moving in his head. He goes, really? He goes, yes. And then I'll say, do you want big muscles too? And he's gotten to the point now where after he eats a bite of something that's healthy, he say, Daddy, big muscles. And he goes like this, big muscles. And so, once again, that's my way of persuading him by showing him enthusiastically what the vision, what the future could look like, rather than telling him, eat your vegetables. And if you want to talk about people who persuade with power, one of the most classic examples is the before and after any gym or workout routine. You'll have a person who's going to be out of the shape, and they'll have the person on the other side who is in incredible shape. So once again, the true contrast, before and after. Now this is really important for a couple different reasons. Visually, going back to visual cues, you can see the person who's in incredible shape. You're like, oh gosh, I would love to be like that. And also, you're selling the dream. So if you see someone, maybe like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, who's just like completely ripped, I might want to be like that. So I see Arnold and I see what I could be. I see the future me, and I want to be at that state. Or let's say I have 2 different entrepreneurs, and I have, let's say, my goal is to make as much money. So I have one entrepreneur on one side, and then I have Jeff Bezos on the other side. So yes, if I want to make as much money as humanly possible, Jeff Bezos is my hero because he's one of the wealthiest men in the world. So that contrast can be a really powerful way of convincing people to do something by having them think on their own. So going back to having people think on their own, one thing I always do is when I'm doing a LinkedIn training and I'm showing 2 different profiles, one that I think is great, one that I think is not so great. Going back to the gym example, I will show both, and rather than saying, hey guys, this one is great for XYZ reasons, I will show both examples, and then I'll ask the audience, which one do you guys like better? And they'll say, oh, I like the one on the left. And I say, okay, great. Why do you like the one on the left? And they'll say, okay, because this. The power of that is they're coming to a conclusion. They're teaching themselves by getting involved in the process. They're thinking through the solutions. And that way, I have guided them, but in their mind, it's their own idea. So anytime someone thinks they've come up with the idea, it's their own idea, they're far more likely to take action on that particular idea. And the last thing I do, which you probably notice quite a lot, is I tell a lot of stories. So going back to, the LinkedIn training example, let's say I could tell people all day, look, you should be active on social media. It's going to be great for your career. It's going to be great for your organization. People will be like, okay, sure. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is I could say, look, I have been active on LinkedIn for 5 years now, and since then I've been able to work with 45 Fortune 500 companies, and here's how I did it. So once again, 2 very different ways of getting people on board with the story. One of which saying, you should definitely do it because I think it's important, versus them listening to a story of someone else has done it, putting themselves in the shoes when I'm telling the story so they can see it from their perspective. And then that way, once again, they're more likely to think of it as their journey, their story, their point of view, and they're far more likely to take action. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.